Okay, so I'm going to talk freely again about some of the things that's been going on in the world. Some of the videos I post are not 1,000% polite. Some things are downright testy. However, the truth hurts and no one likes a truth teller. So I do my damnedest when I post a video to be as close to the truth as possible. Which is why I always tell people I give them 99.9 because no one really knows the whole 1,000 except for the man upstairs. Now, with that being said, as an actor who has failed to get any real acting work outside of my YouTube projects and other people's projects, where I have done a video with CLS where I think they beat me up and shoved me in a trunk over a t-shirt. So, it's not impossible. It's just been highly improbable because I have not found my niche. Now, in the video that I deleted, I did speak of TV shows and how I only really need one, and I need it to last, and how if I'm getting a show, that I'm on that bitch till it's canceled. So I'm on it to the end. I'm on it. If it's scheduled to run 5 years, even if I'm not the star, I ain't going nowhere. Sign the contract. I'm ready to go. So let's say tomorrow, this isn't happening. Don't get your hopes up because this isn't happening. If it does happen, believe me, you will be the first to know. You'll probably know it before I know it. But let's say tomorrow that the Disney streaming services decide, hey James, we're going to give you a job as a Native American superhero from Marvel, American Eagle. Now, American Eagle is not a mutant, so they definitely can use him, and now that they own all the mutant properties of Fox, then they definitely can use a mutant suit. But let's say they decide they're going to give me American Eagle, J Steam something. Anyway, Strongbow or Steam something, I don't know. I can't remember. I know him. He's like one of my favorite characters. He's not a mutant, but he does have superpowers. I forgot exactly the extent of it because they probably retconned the shit out of him anyway. But let's say they give me the job and they're like, all right, so you're not going to be on Cloak and Dagger. You're not going to be on your favorite show that ends next year, which is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But we're going to give you a small role either in your own spin-off from like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type thing, or we're going to give you your own show on the WC thing for Disney, and it's going to be American Eagle. So here's the only one problem we have is that you have to be full-blooded Native American, which sadly you, James, are not. But we can find a workaround. We don't have to retcon the character, and people think you're more Native American than black anyway, so you can play this guy. The show's only going to run 2 seasons. So let's say I get the role, I take the role, I love the role, and the show's only going to run 2 seasons. My only requirement on any show that I'm on, I have mostly 2 requirements. Okay, 3. First requirement, above all else, no one touches the hair. You can dye it, you can add extensions, but you can't cut it off. Not an option. Second would be relationship sex scenes. There will be none of that without having a conversation with the actress involved. And there will be no LBGT sex for me. That's just not an option. And the third and final, which is probably more important than the first 2, is that whatever show I'm on, no matter how bad the show is, it has to have a beginning, a middle, and a reasonable ending. It doesn't have to have a happy ending, it doesn't have to have a sad ending, but it has to have a reasonable ending so that the customers, the fans, will be like, okay, cool. Because it can do the thing Farscape did, had a really screwed up ending where Aaron and John Crichton get blown to bits, but then they made a mini-series ending that ended the whole thing. See, I'm okay with shit like that. I'm not okay with that cop-out that Battlestar Galactica did. No offense to any of the actors there or the writers. It's just that was like a serious cop-out ending, and I would have ended it a totally different way. And it's the same thing with other things. I don't like the cop-out endings. So I'm hoping when shows come to an end, they come to a sensible but fair ending. So that fans like me who are die-hard fans, who invest everything into that, don't get ripped off. And I say that because I'm also a big time Mass Effect fan. Mass Effect has saved my life on more accounts than I can actually speak of. But the reason I say that, okay, so when you play the first Mass Effect, and whichever Shepard you are, male or femme, it ends with them looking for Shepard at first, and then, out of the blue, you come from wherever the hell Shepard goes, because they never really show what happens when the Sovereign dies or whatever. And so, you just pop up out of the woodwork. I mean, it doesn't really give you a whole lot to that. You just know you pop out of the woodwork. And then the same with part 2, Shepard goes to jail, but you never know, you don't get to see the trial, you don't get to experience what Shepard could say to defend his or herself in the trial, which is kind of what I would have had, like a DLC for that or something. But, you don't get that. And then at the last part, no matter what Shepard does, you don't know what the hell really happens in the aftermath, even though they do tell you 4 BS endings. Alright? So, spoiler alert right now. If you dive through the beam, Shepard becomes a part of everybody and your body disintegrates. If you hit the big red button, you kill all electronic life throughout the universe. And I'm pretty sure that probably includes the Geth. But the Geth had a backup plan anyway, because they were going into their own little realm of digital stuff. But if you, again, kill all electronic life in the universe, you essentially kill the Geth regardless of what damn universe they're in. Then you have the do nothing ending. And you don't know what happens to anybody except for Liara and Sassoni, who apparently survived and kept trying. Which kind of sucks. You also know that the Andromeda Initiative took off between Game 2 and Game 3. Okay? So you get that. And even that gives you a cop-out ending because they haven't given us a DLC about the Quarians, which I really think that the game didn't get enough justice done to it. It was a great game. If you're not a fan, then that's your problem. I am a fan, and if you are a fan, then you know what I mean. But if you're not a fan, you should probably leave the video right now because I honestly think that the Social Justice Warriors screwed Mass Effect Andromeda. And Mass Effect Andromeda should have 2 more games just to even out the trilogy and turn it into an anthology. And you should be able to do more with Sarah and Scott Ryder. You should also have like a side version DLC with the Krogan where you actually can be the Krogan. And I'm talking about the one that woke up during space travel for 50 years. So you can have things go wrong on his arc and have him go and wake up a Solarian or somebody to repair it and put them back to sleep and go through some stuff, And then you can have the DLC with the Quarians, and then you can have the second game, and then you can have a third game. But the Social Justice Warriors screwed that up. So I'm going to move off of that right now to go back to the main topic. If I'm lucky enough, blessed enough to be discovered and get work, because for the last 19 years I've gotten nothing, the show has to have an ending. It really, truly has to have a sensible, reasonable, and fair ending. It can have a happy ending, it can have a sad ending, but it has to have an ending. And the main reason I brought this up was because my show Dark Matters and my other show Z Nation are canceled, being canceled, and Killjoys is ending. So you can see how my Friday night's been going. So that being said, if I'm on a show, without excuse, unless I'm just like making cameos and I'm not a reoccurring actor for the show, if I'm a reoccurring character on the show, like a full-time person on the show, like let's say I'm not the star, I'm not like the Flash, but I'm more like Vibe. I'm on the show, I'm not like centered around the show, and no episode has to ever center around me, and I'm okay with that. But the show has to have a feasible, reasonable, fair ending that everyone can be somewhat satisfied with. Fans, non-fans, everybody should be delivered a decent ending. I was a Xena fan. Xena had a decent ending. I hated it, but it made sense for them to end it that way. However, the show could have went on with Gabrielle, Gabrielle going around doing good deeds, etc., because her and the Asian woman could have carried the show. I forgot the Asian actress name, that's why I said that. They could have carried the show for like a couple of more years. And with the spinoff, it could have been great. And it's the same thing with Andromeda with Kevin Sorbo. I didn't like the way that ended. But, it had a feasible ending. But, it could have carried on because they're in the Star Trek universe, for those who don't know. It is a Gene Roddenberry thing. And it's the same thing I would say about Earth Final Conflict. I didn't like the way that ended because it had a feasible ending with all. It had Boone, I think. It was either Boone or Liam. I can't remember. It might have been both. But them and the police officer lady and the half-breed kid going into space to go meet his people and those Talons, if I'm saying it right, those people. So, the show has to have a feasible ending. I don't like being left to my imagination. I don't like cop-outs. And, those are like the three things that I really think that all actors should consider and all producers should consider. And all writers should definitely consider. You want a manageable, fair, decent, feasible ending so that we aren't hung in the gap like, okay, so what happens next? Battlestar Galactica's ending was a total cop-out. It was a great show. I'm not knocking it. I watched it. I loved all the actors on it, and they've all gone on to do different things. And, my favorite actress of the whole damn thing was Grace Park. I miss her on Hawaii Five-0. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But the whole fact is that the ending of that pretty much gave me the middle finger. And it did show Gaius and the other Cylon, Trisha Hayford, running around doing whatever the hell it was they were doing and explaining all of this crap has happened, it can happen again, etc., which is highly possible that the Cylons could come back and the stupid people from the Galactica years ago put the Galactica into the sun, destroying every bit of defense that they ever had, which is illogical and pretty fucking stupid, but that's just the way I see it, and I'm sorry for cussing. Now, it's kind of like, alright, shows like the Power Rangers, they have feasible season endings, and it's a show that really, honestly, could go on for another 30, 40 years because they come up with new stuff, and if they keep up with the Sentai version, which has been on for as long as I've been born, because I think it started like in 71, 72, somewhere in there, and it's been going strong ever since over there. And then they have other shows that's also connected into that universe, like Kamen Rider, Beetleborgs, VR Troopers. There wasn't, and Mass Rider, which wasn't so successful here, but they could be rebooted and done again, and I need a job, because Trooper Transform was pretty damn good. And as far as I know, Sarah Brown's probably the most successful actor out of the VR Troopers because she went on to become a soap opera star, which I truly love because I had the biggest crush on Sarah Brown. I also think she made an appearance or two on the Power Rangers as a possible love interest for Tommy. It's been a long time. But, having a feasible ending is everything to me because as a fan of TV and actors, I think actors should probably have a say in, look, dude, we need a feasible ending because they never even brought Dark Matters back, and Dark Matters was getting good. So the least they could do, Sci-Fi if you're listening, is end it on a high note, make a 2-hour Dark Matter movie so that we know what happens to Portia and the rest of the crew. We deserve that because Dark Matters was getting good and y'all just said, ixnay it. And the same thing with Z Nation. When you end the season, make a 2-hour movie to finish it off. Give us what we deserve. And above all else, I'm going to piss off everybody with this because I was a big-time Slider fan. Don't do that. Do not do what Sliders did. And to Sliders and the creators and all that, especially Jerry O'Connor, because I really liked him and I hated it when him and his brother left the show. Not that the guy who replaced him was a bad actor or anything like that. But the ending of Sliders was a big fat middle finger. It really was. It was a big fat middle finger because you don't know if the black guy survived. You don't know if the Cro-Mags were finally wiped out by the disease that he took with him. It's really not fair for us to not know. So if you're a Sliders fan, pitch the idea. Hey, we want a proper ending. We want a proper ending for Sliders. We want to know if the Cro-Mags were destroyed when he jumped back through the portal and they took him. Because you never see him land. You just see him open up the portal to our Earth and dive through, and he closed it, and he threw the thing back behind him, I think, or he either took it with him. One of the two. He either took the device or he smashed the device, one of the two. He did something to the device. But he left Quinn and the two sexy chicks, and I think somebody else behind with them. We know that Wade got killed. We know that the professor got killed more than one occasion. So, give us something for Sliders. And finally, I want to touch on this because of the fact that I am an actor who hasn't gotten any work whatsoever in 19 years. And no, I haven't quit, and I'm praying like hell that my time will come. I also didn't like the way that the Defiance ended. The TV show Defiance. I didn't like the way that ended. I got how DS9 for Star Trek ended, and I didn't like how Voyager ended, and I didn't like how Enterprise ended. Stop copping out on us. Just give us a feasible, fair, and decent ending that we all can observe and live with. Or give us 3 on a video box set, But give us something and be fair, So, that being said, I'm going to end this video and do one more video out here, and then I'm going in the house because bugs are attacking the shit out of me. Be seeing.